sex is, and it should be the most important thing in a relationship. Compatibility has to do with values, with vision, where you see yourself, and has nothing to do with interests. If I'm building a family and my children have the same last name, I don't want to feel left out. I would never propose to you. I would wait until you propose to me.
It's really, really kind of scary because there's some times with me and Gia, because I believe Gia is my soulmate. Welcome to the 200% Life podcast. This is an amazing time, 2023. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, like, put this on your TVs, everywhere in your phones, share with everybody, and subscribe below, comment below, whatever you like from today's episode. We want to hear from you. But today's a very special edition because it's the Valentine's Day. Okay, so I want to confess something because I obviously have my beautiful wife here, Gia. How you doing?
I don't know. I just appear here.
You just appeared.
They
Where's
told
the
me,
Valentine's?
just sit there. And I'm like, this is a date. This is an interview. Just look cute. So I'm just here.
You look beautiful, by the way. You got the pink going on, the red lipstick going on.
Well, you always have a red lipstick because you never know when you're going to use it.
I love that. We got the wine going on.
Cheers. Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. And if you're single, happy Valentine's Day to you because you probably are getting together for Galentine's or...
You know what? You're loving yourself. Love yourself.
Love yourself. It's all good. It's all good. It's a day of love. So make that happen. But I want to have a confession to me because today, obviously, we're here 200% Live, a new format. We also have our amazing producer, Lele. How you doing?
Hello. What's up?
What's up? And our sound engineer / Latin Grammy, Aether. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
Okay, so I have a confession because this is one of the few episodes. There's been a couple of them in the past, but today I have no clue what's going on. Do you have a clue what's going on?
No.
I have zero absolute knowledge of what's going to happen right now. They just told me to tell. Look at what she's doing. Okay,
They're doing something back to us today.
Our producers, right, put this all together. They say we're gonna have a Valentine's Day. Just bring Gia, and she's coming on board. So great crossover. She has got an Access So What podcast, but I have no clue what's gonna happen. So all I'm gonna do is just kind of like go with the flow. And
they gave us this.
They gave us a bowl full of paper. Some little slips there. So I have no absolute clue what's gonna happen. So I will let our amazing executive producer Lele take it away. So what are we doing today?
So this is the thing, right?
Yes.
Questions. You both know I love asking questions. Everyone knows that.
Yes.
But I didn't want to just ask the questions because, I think we can just speak. Why not? So I created a bowl with several questions, okay? 15 to be exactly.
Here's the bowl.
That's the bowl.
And they're the questions.
Yes, correct. So Jeremy's going to pick one. And if he picks one, he needs to answer the question first. But just a heads up, it might be a little bit spicy question.
I knew it. Okay, so
listen, we love spice.
So for all of our newest viewers, if this is your first episode watching, so here next to me is my beautiful wife. This year we're going to be 20 years married. So hopefully some of these questions, maybe are going back to
maybe we have the answer.
Maybe we have the answer. Who knows?
Maybe. God knows.
Absolutely. Please look her up. Put it in the bottom right here. Her podcast is I Got an Accent, So What? There's great crossover. And let's get this party started.
Yes. All right. So, Jeremy, you can start if you will.
Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna.
What are you talking like that?
Question.
You can start like all sexy and
So I have to
stuff.
read the question, obviously. So
yes, and then you're gonna answer first. Too.
I'm gonna answer first.
Yes.
All right. Let's see if this was spicy. Okay. Here we are. First question. What are your thoughts on hookup culture, sleeping around? You good? All right. By the way, they have some wine in their mugs as well.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
I
thoughts,
just want to know.
Okay, thoughts. I don't know if you're putting these questions in the bottom here too, but what are your thoughts on hookup culture, sleeping around? So I have to answer, right?
Yes.
All right, so I think that's kind of like a two-part question. It is a two-part question, but
yes.
I mean, my thoughts on the hookup culture now, if we're talking about just you meet someone today and like within 20 minutes you're hooking up,
What do you mean by hooking up? Having sex?
Yeah,
Having
so
sex.
so the
Sleeping
hookup
around.
the hookup culture, it's actually sleeping around. So that's
Oh,
what
sorry.
they describe.
We've been, we've been
sleeping
off the
around.
market for 20 years.
So
Yes,
what's the-
I know. I'm sorry.
So,
So
body count.
hookup culture, it means sleeping around.
In a constant basis?
I guess.
Okay.
Well, so,
A constant
so
basis,
the question.
Okay, so
answer the question.
So the answer to my question, I mean, I always have found that, you have to find the person that's, that you want to be with, right? To then give yourself up, right? Give that body up. I mean, the sleep around culture, it could be okay, possibly for some people for a little bit, but it probably will get old. I don't know. This might get old a little bit because, you will never, if you get so deep into it, I think, and then years go by, etc., you might not get to the point where you actually are going to appreciate, maybe that long term. Or when you get to the point where you want that long term relationship, it might be a little bit hard to identify because you've seen so many things, experienced so many things with so many different people. So that's my thoughts on it.
As many of you know, it's funny because we talk about this all the time. That culture, obviously, the ones that do it, no judgment. This is not a judgment, no judgment zone whatsoever. Kudos to you. But I always say that, and we always laugh about it, and it's funny. Maybe that question came from that. I always telling the team, like, if me and Jeremy for some reason ever, separate or something, I will be the last gotten laid woman in the history. Because for me in particular, again, no judgment zone. Whoever can do it and can differentiate how to be sane and do that, to each its own. But to me, I need to have a connection with the individual. I just cannot give up myself.
Yeah.
Like that. I want somebody in my body that I connect, and I want to create something. I'm not, and you guys know, I hate short conversations and short talks. I'm about creating moments and creating memories of each individual that come to my life and everything in my aspect in life. So to me, that would not fly with me because I'm a person of creating memory with individual and getting to know the person. So if anybody tried to get me to hook up, that person will go home hungry because I'm not getting them any piece of my meat.
Yeah.
This filet mignon, baby, is gonna be aged.
And I've seen a lot of reels and TikToks and stuff like that of just even pranksters just funny enough or just trying to say, hey, would you want to hook up? Like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Okay, you want to hook up? What was my 1 to 10? And the girls are like, what? Did you really just ask me that? So, but obviously, I'm sure there's people that do it. And again, no judgment zone. If that works for you, kudos to you. I mean, I'm telling you, we're telling us, I guess, our experience of what works for us. So,
Yeah. Gia, go ahead.
next one.
Hopefully mine's not. Let's see, because this Lily, her questions. Oh, the first word.
While she reads it, let's do some.
Is sex really important in a relationship? Sex is, and it should be the most important thing in a relationship.
Yes.
To me, sex is the way that you communicate with individuals, just like having a communication. So sex, actually, the person can be an amazing, but sex has to be amazing in a relationship in order to last. Everything else can be worked on. But I think if you have a person that sexually you don't connect and it's really bad, you don't have many years in that relationship. My personal opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, in a relationship, if you decide, there's a commitment, absolutely. I think it's something that it's an art.
Art making?
Yeah, art making. I say love making, right? But it has to be some sort of chemistry. So it's got to be important. You know what I mean? And
I think so.
Instead of sex making,
It doesn't mean that we can have quickie here and there to resolve,
Of course.
but they have to be the main event.
The main event. Do you think you can fall in love with more than one person at once?
Oh my God, that's a really...
Well, I have to answer first.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking my answer out loud, man. Go ahead.
Okay, I personally don't think you can. I mean, I guess it is possible. It is possible, but even if you did love two people at one time, as far as like a relationship-wise type of love, because obviously we love a lot of people, but if you're talking about like relationship-wise or like a partner, a romantic partner, Even if you love two people at one time, one is always going to outweigh the other, in my opinion.
We're not normal in a relationship. We're not normal couple like people. You guys know our background and all that, being married for 20 plus year. Not plus, well, 20 years married and 22 in a relationship. I do think you can love two people at the same time. I do because we're beings of love, but you might be confused. I think love is a strong word that just comes at first. Love is something that you can build, and it builds and trust, and you care for the person. I would rather say you can care or like two people at the same time. The love part of it, I believe love happens when you're time in long with this individual creating something that then you can say, I love this person. So I think what people kind of get confused is the like part, or be attracted to two people that you don't know what to do and care for both the same way. The loving part, it's a little bit more than that. It's a selfless act. It's this putting your ego behind, and even the way that you're willing to give your life for that individual. So the loving part, I don't think you should love two people at the same time, but like two people and care for two, it's possible, and they have a very strong attraction.
Right. And now you get to certain cultures, and this might get a little controversial.
Oh, yeah.
My apologies. I apologize in advance. So again, only that person can know for sure. And obviously, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I love two people one time. But there are. I mean, we went to Dubai, and we met a guy who had 13 wives in one time. You know, and they said that they had to. He had to actually keep them all in the same status. The guy obviously, multi-millionaire status, owned like a gold,
he had a jewelry. He has a jewelry store
in the Zouk.
Yeah,
so, but he said, "Hey, there's too many problems. But I have to spend this day with this day with this person, this day with the other one."
It's tiring. Actually, it's tiring.
He was tired. But he has to keep a status. He had to keep a status of each one of them having to have the same exact kind of lifestyle.
He had like a Excel sheet.
Like, probably.
No, I don't know. That guy looked pretty exhausted, because actually in the culture and the religion part of it says that he's supposed to give himself the same way to a 13th wife.
Right.
Can you imagine?
No, I told him, listen, kudos to you. Like, I don't know how he would do it. He said, I'm very tired. He said, I'm very tired because it's there. But again, he only knows, or that person would only know, if it is possible to love more than one person at one time. And I'm sure he does to a certain extent. But I'm sure there's gotta be a favorite, or maybe you
always have a favorite.
It's just like you have
something.
a favorite child sometimes. I don't know, something like that. Some people do.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. So who knows, right? Not me though. My two children are equally.
I was gonna ask that
question.
question.
Equally loved. But either way, that's good. That's that question. Okay, go ahead.
My turn.
I have a question.
Yes, you have a question.
How this guy have sex with all of them, like bi-weekly?
No, well, there's a small pill. There's a small pill.
Okay, it's 13, right? So 13. So about 2 weeks. So he has a 2-week cycle probably.
Yeah. So he doesn't see one like in 2 weeks later. So that guy has like. You guys must be thinking that he has the perfect life because he have a new wife every 13 days.
He's not.
And give the same thing to his children. Kudos to him, man.
Kudos. Cheers to you out there in Dubai in the Zouk. No,
living the life.
I told him, I said, I have much respect because I have no clue.
And he did mention that the most complicated thing was the fighting among them.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had to go and solve certain things, and he had to, and...
So he was like living the bachelor life, like, the reality show, but he was already married to the 13
Married with having kids and giving them a status to all 13 women.
All the same.
Drama.
Yeah. Oh, that is drama.
Kudos to you. Kudos.
Go, Gea.
First date, who pays? Times have changed, so obviously woman empowering and all that. So on values, we always were brought up that the man pays, right?
Yeah.
However, today's day, I was listening to another podcast where you guys and your gentlemen have this code that depending how much you guys spend on that night depends how much kind of meat you guys get that night. So having said that, I will pay for my own freaking food all day long just in case. Since I'm not in the market, but if I would be back in the market, believe me, I'll be like, no, we'll split that. We'll split that. Due to the, if you think that you paying me a meal is gonna get you something else, I don't think so. But my values.
We'll go to the BK, the value menu. You can have one of each.
Oh my God, Jeremy. But usually it's like, a man should, treat the women. Yeah. And sometimes women feel like they have to show the men and treat the men as the same way, but whatever floats to you.
Okay, perfect. So I think obviously in my opinion it should be the guy who pays obviously the first date. Actually pretty much from that point on, I think it's
wow.
That's the way I was brought up, but comment below if you think it's different. But that's the way it is, yeah.
And how you feel about it.
At least me, I go in, back then, I felt that I had to do it, because that's just the way I was brought up.
Because culture tells you that that men should treat.
So, Jeremy, I have a question.
Okay.
If a man, not you because you are clearly happily married, but if a guy go to a restaurant, would he feel bad if the girl is paying? Do you think guys nowadays they feel bad when
if it was me, I would feel pretty bad. Yeah.
So you want to play every single time?
I would. Personally, yes. Me personally, yes.
Is it because you feel humiliated or something that maybe the woman can treat you?
It's just basically kind of like
It's a manly thing.
Heitor, how about you?
I hate to be pay me whatever you want.
I don't feel bad.
Cool.
When I dated Sophia, and we were dating, sometimes I paid, sometimes she paid. There's not a problem with it. I mean, my opinion.
That's a guy with no ego. You see? Good for you, man. But at the same time, I think it depends how the person was brought up, and how you feel if you don't feel intimidated by a woman, because it might be that you have a really good man on that date, and just because you show that move of me, the woman in power, you might take that possibility of creating something nice just because that, that move you were trying to. So I think everything revolves around ego. When we put the ego in the middle, that's when there's misinterpretation on things and act and culture and way that you were brought up and everything. So I think they always have to, each individual, when they come into a relationship, you both have to meet in the middle, and there you make your rules from everything. Because in our case, that's how it was. Two different culture, two different background, two different levels of everything. Super mellow, super high energy. Fighting, everybody in my house fighting and screaming at each other. In their house, everybody's polite. In Jeremy's house, everybody wear their clothes. In my house, everybody will be naked because we don't have issue with that.
Should married couples have joint or separate bank accounts?
Oh yeah, that's good.
So that one's, I think, is a personal. Whatever the couple decides, I think that's up to them. It's totally, how I guess
comfort
level, comfort zone. Some certain spouses say, I don't want to feel like I'm asking you for something, stuff like that. Certain spouses don't care. It's totally a personal decision. I think it's up to the couple.
I agree. It also depends if it's a. It sounds about a recycle couple.
A recycle couple.
But if it's a couple that comes from being married before and you have your own children,
I see what you mean.
I think definitely having your bank account separate it creates less conflict.
Yeah, it's just it's up to the couple. I mean, some couples enjoy the joint. It's just something that
I think there's not a right or wrong question.
It's not right or wrong.
I mean, answer on it rather than try both and see who feels how you guys each feel comfortable and go from there. There's not a right or wrong.
Next, let's go.
Me? Oh my God, I think we're gonna go through this quick. This is not hard. It's so easy. Lily, it's wild.
She's out of control?
She's out of control.
I'm sorry.
We need to control this beast. She says, what are your thoughts on open relationships? Well, it sounds super fun, but it sounds
Complicated.
very complicated. Yes. That's I think we're a very open-minded couple. There's a line of respect that if you crossed, there's no way back. Anybody can do whatever they feel like in that relationship, but not everything, the level of respect once you cross that line. I know people personally that they have open relationship, and you see their life is it's a little messy, very, very messy. In my personal opinion, when I decided, because I'm talking about myself, I'm not want to talk about Jeremy, but when I decided to have kids, I understood that I'm bringing a generation, and I want to make sure that my first, second, third, and fourth generation, nothing get hindered on the way. And I understood from my spiritual level and my belief that anything that I do might come and hinder my children. So when people do that, if they have children, it gets very complicated. Again, no judgment zone. But yeah, I personally don't believe in it. I think it's more a stress that you can take, and obviously health wise, you're exposing yourself to so many other, sickness and very complication in life that I don't think anybody needs.
Yeah.
Mr. Gomez?
Yeah. I mean, again, we're in the 21st century, 2023. There's all sorts of things that maybe stuff that you haven't even heard of. But yeah, open relationships are tough. I mean, I'm personally, wouldn't work for me, because when I'm committed and focused on a relationship, on whatever, I put my mind to, I have like 24/7. That's the focus. So I really couldn't, derail from that. And knowingly that, having different relationships, because obviously it starts with one, so we say, we were together for a few years or a couple years or 5 years, 10 years, and now we decided to have an open relationship. And definitely, for that, just go out and live your best life. Yeah, go out and separate, live your best life. That was my personal humble opinion. I think you'll be happier because it's just a little bit messy, complicated, especially you're still living with that person. It's a little tough.
I'm going to put it in perspective. Are you ready for this picture?
This
is the reason why I don't believe in open relationship. Okay, me, everybody knows I'm not a jealous wife, but I'm an obsessive wife. And I own it with pride. You know why? Because I give my fucking 200% in everything that I do. Number one. But imagine, it sounds fun, right? Let me have this adventure. And it's the open relationship, right? You're having fun, but all of a sudden you turn around and you see your husband having fun with somebody else. Oh, hell is gonna fucking break loose. I'm like, whoa, no, leave my property alone. Step aside. So it sounds so fun in game, but when you put it in perspective, and you're like, oh, this guy is so cute. But then all of a sudden you see your spouse having fun with somebody else, that then all your insecurities, I think it will bring out so many insecurities, and it will actually, it really, really will destroy that individual. So I think commitment and relationship, like in anything else, commitment. Goes a long way.
Absolutely. All right. Is that me? Yeah. This is funny. How long should you wait until you have sex with your significant other?
Oh, crap. I'm telling you. This woman.
That is definitely a question, individual question, or like a couple question. When is the right time? Is whenever everybody feels comfortable, I guess, with the moment, with the moment. Obviously, it starts at a point where you have so much attraction and chemistry that it might be there. Now, it all goes back to commitment, beliefs, but that's a personal question, in my opinion. There's no right or wrong answer on that as well. It's a personal between the two, whenever both feel comfortable with it.
I think it's the same way as if somebody met somebody and you said, what is the perfect time to marry that individual? Or when is the person, there's people that there was such a high chemistry and in 3 months they're freaking married. And you're like, whoa, but doesn't last.
And they do sometimes.
Yeah, intimacy part is definitely a dance that you have to feel. You have to feel all right with the person. And again, so we're not talking about hookups like the first question. We're talking about intimacy
Like
with
an
somebody.
actual relationship now.
Exactly. So
You've
I
gone
think,
out to eat, you've met the
yeah.
parents,
You
or-
like the person. Definitely, you want to move forward. There's other things and you want to see. And hey,
Let's bring that question back to Lele. So how long do you think?
how long do you think, Lily?
Lele.
I think as long you have to trust the person. At least
Trust.
That's my view on it. As long as you have trust, and because it's like you're giving yourself to someone. So as long as you have the trust, then I think that's, and you feel comfortable, of course. So trust and comfortability, I guess.
And how is that trust? What does the trust means to you?
For you to be able to give your 200% to the person. Like
Completely.
in
Vulnerability.
between the four walls, whatever it is,
What about the car?
or the
I still
four
have four
doors.
It still has four
Trust.
four
Four
dimensions.
What about the yacht? Mr. Hater?
I agree with Lele. Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust. Comfortability.
It's my turn?
It's your turn, yes. That was mine.
Do you think couples should have similar interests to be compatible? No, absolutely not. We're perfect testament of that. We have two different interests, mindset, but our compatibility, actually, we are each other complement. I think you have to be that other person or that significant other complement. You both don't have to look the same and have the same interests, but it complement each other, because it's not like a freaking robot. Imagine if you both have the same interests, yeah, you might enjoy it, but it might get bored afterward. But if that individual have different interests, it bring a different texture of that relationship that you're like, ooh, I didn't think about that. So not necessarily, compatibility has to do with values, with vision, where you see yourself, and has nothing to do with interests. Jeremy.
Yeah, each person has his own characteristics, their own hobbies, their own, favorite things to do. And obviously, each person has their own thing kind of going, but I'm sure they have some similar interests, but it doesn't need to be like everything together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For us, at least, I'm into music. I'm into,
What else are you into?
music. No, music, fitness, technology, all that.
Super techie, yeah.
You're super techie.
He's
and
a nerd
everything.
at heart.
And Gea is not very techie.
No.
But
I dance my ass off, and you're a horrible dancer. You're okay.
Thank you. Please roll back. Put the TikTok at the bottom. Okay, thank you.
I'm just kidding.
Put the salsa TikTok at the bottom right now. All right, go for it.
I was going to say, so you're saying on dating apps, when they ask me what my favorite color is, it needs to be different?
Yeah, actually, you know what?
be.
I was gonna say that. So that's why, again, no judgment zone. Whoever have met, because actually your middle brother, met his wife through an app, through a dating app, and today's day you can find. But I don't think just because somebody's profile is exactly than mine, if you're looking for somebody to have your same profile, you're missing out on so many other people that I might like yellow and Jeremy love blue, but maybe that blue have all the things that I need. So that individual doesn't have to look to what you like. It just have to be willing and able to know each other and go to that journey and discover each other, which is the fun part.
That's the fun part. Yeah. Yes. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, sometimes you go out and do your thing and you just want to have your alone time.
Perfect example. Jeremy's a rocker at heart, and I didn't like rock. I'm more like tropical salsa, reggaeton, my tropical mix and all that. And Jeremy's just like hardcore alternative rock. And I learned to go to the concert and listen to the music. But before I met you, I'll be like, who understand this? Like there's no rhythm. It's like, But and then you see me going to the rockers with a leather jacket and going to all his concert that he did, which it was an amazing performer. But I learned how to like that because I care about you and I want to learn more about you. and you took salsa classes because I love dancing. So we're a perfect complement. You see?
Do you guys like to watch the same things in TV or some Netflix?
Oh man, that's
or
a
something?
nightmare. We try to find a happy medium, but Jeremy will be hours looking what to watch, and I say like 7 yes, and he cannot make up his mind.
Thank you, Netflix.
But we definitely like. Well, we don't watch much TV because our life are very always creating other things, but we do like shows, and we try to watch like series,
TV shows.
series together.
Yep. Not series, the iPhone.
Yeah,
iPhone,
so
yeah.
when I watch TV, I try to be proactive with him and whatever I'm watching by myself, which is probably Keeping Up with the Kardashian or
And Bridgerton. She
or
watched Bridgerton by
Bridgerton.
herself.
I watched Bridgerton the whole entire night, the whole entire episode. Jeremy was sleeping. But we try to watch things together, even though Jeremy falls asleep in all of them.
No,
Yeah,
not
okay,
all of them.
because that's it's my marriage nightmare.
Really?
Totally. Like I like this
One
and
thing?
Sophia that.
So then
And
you
we
guys
can
should watch it in different timing.
Yeah, the only thing that we can watch together it's stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy?
The only thing
Oh
that
my
we can do together. Like,
That's very frustrating, though.
Oh, look at this one.
but
This is, here we go, controversy.
Oh, my God.
Should women change their last name when they get married? I love it. So, disclaimer, probably all the Puerto Rican ladies, kudos to you on this one. I mean, to my belief, obviously, I was raised.
Wait, not all Puerto Rican women have issue changing their last name. You only know one that has an issue, and it's your sister-in-law, Janira Suarez.
Yeah, no, but I mean, in my culture, you know, you change your last. It was like an honor to change the last name. You're changing your name, etc. But I mean, it's whatever makes you happy, I guess. I mean, the argument to my sister-in-law, she's Puerto Rican, is like, you're not my father. I'm gonna carry my father's name because sometimes I guess when you change your last name, you're ending that line of your father's name to the next generation. So I guess that's the key. But it's whatever makes you happy. To be honest with you, except you're changing your last name, which you did.
Yeah, I'm that I can be a hypocrite because to me I change my last name depending on my advantage. For example, Jeremy's last name is shorter than mine, Gomez. My maiden name is Hernandez. So I was like, Gomez is cooler. Plus it's a double G, like
GG.
hello, GG. So that's why I changed. But however, I never had an issue changing my name because how I think Gea Gomez or Gea Hernandez de Gomez is that if I'm building a family and my children have the same last name, I don't want to feel left out. I want to be part of that legacy and that name. So that's the reason I want to do it in a way of, you guys gonna love this, obedience.
Submissive.
Not.
Submission. Oh my God.
But I don't have issues being submissive to my husband. It's pretty cool. He loves it. But
Question.
okay.
No, actually, Aitor here, he got his wife last
Last
name.
name.
You have
which
her
is
last
very
name?
uncommon.
yeah.
Oh, you took.
But
your
is it
wife's last name?
easier or because of submission?
No, because we were planning to move to US.
Uh-huh.
So my middle name is Alves, and my last name was Amaral.
Amaral?
So, in my name, Heitor, it's like all of my names.
It's long.
long and difficult to pronounce here. So, Sophia, her last name it's Curry. So Stephen Curry, and it's kind of
I got it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that's why I took her last name.
And you can do that?
Yeah,
So then your
So-
children will be Curry?
yeah. And fun fact,
Oh my God, this is super controversial right now.
So we have So we have.
You're the first
a
male that I
husband
know that
took the
inherits.
wife's last name. All right, great.
her aunt was like, what?
What?
And the wedding day, the guy said that I was
Curry.
yeah, and her aunt was like, what the fuck's
I
going
know.
on?
No, and all the guys like, There he goes, his balls. He lost his balls. Wow. Again,
Her last
second
name.
confirmation that your ego, you don't have an ego, and that's not an ego.
No, I'm not a
not an ego like,
person.
An ego.
An ego.
Ego.
When do you think is the right time to say I love you? Do you think they need or feel the need to respond to it? So if I tell you I love you, do you have to say I love you too?
I got it. So super question. When is the right time and if you need to respond back?
Well, in my story, I did it by oops. We were like 3 months dating already in a
Yeah, something like
relationship.
that. No, I think even less than that.
Ay, Jeremy, qué exagerado. No, it was 3 months. I remember that you dedicated me a song from Savage Garden. I knew I love you before I met you. And then he was like, the only song he ever dedicated me. And he played, and I'm like, oh my God, I love you. And I'm like, oh, I said I like you. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, you did not answer me back.
I didn't?
No, you didn't say I love you. You did not say I love you back. But so I play it off like a joke. Oh my God, I got so confused. I told my family all the time I love you. So in our case, it was my first time I said I love you.
So me, I always thought it was a minimal thing to say. It's not just, oh, first day, second day, I love you. Unless, I mean, whatever. But I think I had to be a special time, a special moment, and a special situation. Ambience, yeah. It was like, kind of like that first.
When do you know you love me?
Before I met you.
Great answer.
Thank you, Savage Garden. No, but I always think it's got to be a perfect time. And obviously, if the person feels like it's the same feeling, then yeah, go ahead and respond back. But it's not obligatory. If you don't feel it, then
Yeah.
don't say it back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's when you feel it.
It's when you feel it.
I think
Right.
it just come to your mouth. I love you.
Okay, here we go. This is a spicy one.
Another
I don't know
spicy-
when, but the size matter.
The size of what? Of your phone?
Yeah, is it the plus or the normal?
The Pro or the Pro Max or the
bank
Pro
account.
Max?
The bank account.
The size matter. I get it. Just happened.
Babe, oh, you're the one answering? Ah, yours.
The question. Yeah.
Okay. You're answering your own question? Okay, go ahead. The size matter, Jeremy.
The size matter.
Shouldn't I be answering that, but go ahead.
Were you about to answer?
You can ask Gea.
Well, the size of it doesn't matter. I mean, it's whatever makes the couple happy, I guess.
What is? It's not like you're gonna like. Okay, it does matter. I'm gonna throw away. Can I put a new one? The answer to you will be
movement. Is that what you were gonna say?
no. I was gonna say, what happened if you have a small dick? What do you do as a man?
I don't know.
I don't
Find
know.
someone who's okay.
Thank God we don't have that issue in our department.
200%.
I mean, he's short in height, but
That short.
he's average in height.
That short.
Height. We're talking about height. But
Yeah,
God,
not that short. in height.
God knew.
I don't
God knew that I was gonna put up with the height with the size. So I'm
right.
good, y'all. I'm good.
All right, next.
But definitely the movement is the most important. So no,
Like-
size does not matter. If you are married to somebody, and I mean that shouldn't have mattered to you when you marry that person. But I think the size does not matter. The most important thing, y'all, is the movement. Absolutely.
I was going to say the heart, but
The heart.
I think Leticia is doing all her counseling for her next, what is it called? What was it? She called it romantic
oh yeah, you hate
Partner.
that I say that.
romantic partner. What will you consider cheating in a relationship?
That one is spicy.
Well, obviously, looking is not cheating. Looking is looking at the menu. I think the cheating happened in the heart from the beginning. When you looked at yourself with that person and you imagined yourself leaving your partner and just being with that person. So to me, cheating is anything that has to do with that. From hello, It's you that I'm looking for. So I think just going into a conversation with a woman with a different intention for her to like you at that point, whether her attraction is not there, you're already fucking cheating. I don't effing care. So it doesn't have nothing to do with going in bed. It has nothing to do with even a kiss. To me, cheating happened first in the head and in the heart. And once this and this is done, the action is all that matters. So I'm checked out. Like, once you're out of this, there's nothing else that can be, at the same time. Don't get me wrong. I've seen marriages that being, reconciled, and whoever can do that and move from that, kudos to that. If you have been able to forgive and forget, kudos to that, because we're all imperfect. At the same time, we're all human, and we make mistakes, and we can make stupid decisions because we're human. However, for me, for Gea Gomez, for Giannis Gomez, it has to do with trust. So even if I forgive, that trust will be broken, and I cannot be with somebody that my trust is being broken. That's me. However, it does not mean that somebody out there can do it, can rise from the ashes, can give it 200% for their children, and there's nobody here to judge. Only you know how much you can take and how you can put up with.
Jeremy's like, absolutely.
Absolutely. You're correct.
No, babe, but on the other side, how do you think it's cheating?
No, I mean,
I
yeah,
said looking is not.
Yeah, cheating is like like in anything, it's basically already. If you have those thoughts of being with somebody else, or even if no act has happened, there's obviously some soul searching you got to do in the actual relationship.
Yes.
Because if you're focused and you're happy and that is, your world is your spouse, and not to mention if you have children, it's definitely something that, you have to look really deep inside. If you are having thoughts or feelings of someone else, then, you got to cut it, because obviously at that point, because you can start a little bit, and then the next time you see that person gets the arch, or then you're on a date, then you're, the second day, and then, then.
Not even that, or one night stand. Because a lot of, for guys cheating and women cheating is totally different. Guy cheating is because basically, I don't want to say the word, but, guys are visual in the moment, blah, blah, blah. If women cheat, they're checked out, because we emotional, you guys are more, visual and technical, and a lot of guys might be cheating on their wives, and they love their wife. It's just their savage nature take over that individual, which is what you said. But if you are having any type of thought, don't take it to that point. Sit down with your spouse and say, hey, we're not the same. So how about being honest with each other? Say, we don't look into each other the same way, and I don't ever want to disrespect you for whatever years we've been together. Let's just take our time. Let's see what we want. And I think always coming with the truth goes beyond sneaking and doing anything in the darkness, Just being upfront, I feel this way. How can we do about it? Go to counseling, or if you still have that feeling, definitely, if that is what you feel. If it's because you want to do it for satisfaction and all that, guess what? It's going to come and bite you in the booty.
All right, here we go. Should a man be the one to propose, or is it okay for women to take the lead? Again, me traditional. I've always seen the man propose, get on one knee, etc. But hey, in this 21st century, 2023, if that's what works for you, and that you both are happy, then let the women take the lead. No problems.
I seen it, and I think it's more like what we're accustomed to. In my sense, as a woman, I'll be a little prideful. Like, do you really want to marry me? I wouldn't want to. I would never propose to you. I would wait until you propose to me, because in my head is what I feel is right, but doesn't mean it's wrong. Just a different perspective.
All right.
The last one. It is the worst.
No,
Who knows?
No sé.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Nice.
Leticia.
I was waiting for that one because I was hoping that was going to be the last one, honestly.
And on a high note, take us home.
Hey, are you in a hurry?
No, this is the last one. We could write some more if you want.
Leticia's getting notes. Do you believe in soulmate? Absolutely. I think there's each person have a person out there for you that God has created for you, specifically for you. You know, if you read the Bible, it says that before you were created, you know, He knew you by name. So God creates everything that you need. It's up to you to know. Don't let go of the soulmate, or even give up on it. You know.
Yeah.
And it's because our human nature don't know that. So, if you have somebody good, make sure do soul searching, because you might have let go of soulmate just because either your ego or because you were not right. But if you were soulmate and you were not right, I do believe that there's second chances. I've seen beautiful stories that people were high school sweethearts or even college. They marry somebody else, and 20 years later they reconnected and they have amazing relationships. So I do believe so.
Awesome. Absolutely. They're soulmates. The point where you realize you have a soulmate, I think it comes to the point where, you know, obviously you can't be without that person, but at the same time, you know, you feel the same things together, you know, emotion, you know, thoughts. It's really, really kind of scary because there's some times with me and Gia, because I believe Gia is my soulmate. Aww. He's my soulmate.
My love, and you're my soulmate too.
I believe, but there's no joke. There's been some times, even it just happened like
this
today,
morning,
yesterday. You know, we're literally, I'm thinking about something, and within seconds, I'm talking about scary. Within seconds, she's like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I was like, "Bro, I was just thinking about that, like right this second, right before you said it."
You know what is so scary? That we started experiencing that probably 3 to 4 years ago.
Yeah, probably a little bit more, but we probably noticed it 3 or 4 years ago.
We noticed it.
But we, like, literally, and this is not something that coincides. Like, it happens a constant basis. Like, I'm about to say something, or I'm thinking about something, and she goes and tells me, hey, baby, what do you think about this? And I'm like, wow, I was just thinking about the same exact thing. And, you know, it's really, really good. And whether it be ideas, etc., or sometimes she brings an idea and says, I think this is the way that we should do it. And I was like, you know, I was thinking the same thing. But aside from that, you know, emotions, whenever, you know, she feels sad, I feel sad. Whenever she feels happy, I feel joyous, you know, comfort each other. So that's, I think, the definition of a soulmate is actually, you know, being, you know, intertwined, you know, on a deeper level, emotionally and, you know, on a daily basis, you know, to know that, you know, you cannot be without this person. That's you.
Aww. Bebé.
Aww.
Lindo.
Cue the music.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I answered that question already.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that was very cute, by the way? Gobes.
Adorbs.
Gobes.
Was it adorbs?
Adorbs.
Gorge.
Do you think someone can have multiple soulmates?
Romantically, I mean, probably one. I think. I mean, could there be friend soulmates? Maybe. Where you know, that person's almost like a sister with the same kind of idea, but it's not romantically. It could be.
I do think so.
Yeah,
For
that
instance,
you can.
For instance, if God calls Jeremy into the heavens, you know, I'm going to find another soulmate.
Oh my God.
Hey, it's possible.
I'm messing with you. So the answer to that question, the only person that knows that is God.
Yeah.
But I'm messing. I think you can. However, as humans are very complicated being, and unfortunately we have too many areas that we constantly are working on. I think and I believe that each decade we're different humans. Like I'm not the same when I was 20. Now that I'm in 30s and I'm going to my 40. So I think as we grow, our expectations and our need changes. And as long as you're giving your 100% to that individual, you know, and in our side, it's easier said than done because we are only partners. But I know many successful marriages that, you know, they've come to 1-2 divorces and they found, you know, they're happy where they are right now. So it took him a couple, you know, administration, like a friend said one time, administration, to actually find out this is the person, because I'm more mature. And those individuals have told me, hey, when I was my 20, I was a wild person, and if this individual would have come in that time of my life, I would have ruined. So I think life is timing, and having that person next to you, you will know. So I think if we live our life to the fullest and give our best versions of what it is to enjoy it and live it the best. That even if we screw up, even if things didn't work out, does not mean that is the end for you. That means that something, and God will always provide somebody that will make you happy.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for answering all my questions. I have a whole batch. So, Jeremy, proceed.
Is that absolutely? So that concludes our Valentine's Day edition. Again, wishing all the best in this beautiful day. Again, for all the lovers out there, even if you're single, you still celebrate Valentine's Day with your friends, with your co-workers. It's a day of love.
No, go have a wine with yourself and love on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I'm gonna go on a date by myself right now. I'm getting more wine.
But it's a day of love, to spread love. Say even to your family that you love them. I mean, you should do that every day, but it's a day of love. So it doesn't matter. Again, just spread love out there, spread kindness out there to as many people as possible. Don't get into this cold commercialized this, but Valentine's Day is,
I
just
agree.
Love
if you don't have that significant other right next to you or a date, just take yourself and treat yourself for a nice dinner with a nice glass of water and say, how are you, girl? Or how are you, man? I believe that, and I'm sorry, baby, I know you're closing and we're supposed to close, but I do believe that in order for you to be a better partner or a better lover, you have to love yourself first, and you do have to appreciate yourself. We give so much to others, and we forgot to give ourselves first. It's not selfishness. It's you take care of yourself first, and then everybody else will come second, because you are your first, and you should always be your first love.
Love yourself. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll see you next time on 200% Live podcast.